Well, good morning, everybody. Beautiful Monday morning, and this should be the start to a good week for me. Tomorrow, catheter out, staples out, so hoping to get life back on track and get everything functioning properly here again. But that's not why we're here. So we're gonna do a little build update. Mostly on this hydroplane that you see behind me. Back in July of last year, I first showed you these kits. They're not from a model company. They're from a company called DA Graphics or Da Graphics. Maybe that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. But I found the first kit that I got on eBay, and then Chuck Darnell managed to track down the company itself. And at the time, it was really funny because they had some inventory left, and then we did some videos. Chuck put it out there on the internet, on a lot of the social media stuff, and it was almost like they just hardly were making them. They only had a little bit in inventory, and then all of a sudden, actually the CEO of the company had emailed me, and he said, appreciate the shout out or whatever, and he said we're going to be bringing more kits in, and suddenly, within the next couple of months, they were restocked and selling all the kits again. And I know a few of you guys had told me that you'd picked them up, so I just wanted to kind of go over some assembly things, and it's not any huge issues, but there's some small issues. Figured I'd save you a little time. It's I don't know. I mean, the instructions are very rudimentary, so. And it's almost like this thing, it's not a toy, but I think it's a really basic kit that would be designed for people that don't normally build models, but who are maybe hydroplane enthusiasts that would want to have some of these sitting in their man cave or their library or whatever, but could put this together fairly easily. And a lot of it almost snaps together, which is a few issues. I think painting it, with the paint that I used, a lot of it may have added some of those issues. But let's just kind of go over this, and really, I'm just going to kind of start at the beginning of this with the assembly instructions. So, and even before that, let's just go to the really basic, the display base. Okay, these display bases are cool. They go together very easily. And they don't look like they're brittle, but they're off. I snapped this. I mean, literally, I snapped that thing in 2 seconds. It snapped right off. And it's almost like nylon, so it's soft. It's perfect for the holding this boat hull, but it is soft, so be careful. That's my first thing I'm going to tell you is be careful with that, because very easily you could, any of it, I think you could snap and break. So the hull pushes together. There's big pins, about 8 of them inside of this, maybe 10 big locking type pins. Sand down on the upper hull has the male ends. Sand those down a little smoother, smaller, just to save yourself some ease of putting it together. Now everything went together fine all the way around the entire front of the hull. Was not an issue until I got to the very back here. And the one side made a loud snapping noise, kind of locked into place, and the other side would not go in. So I fussed with it. Finally, which I hated to do, I had to take a screwdriver, a small screwdriver, pry that open. And I think what had happened is I built up a little bit too much paint on there's like a little lip sticking down here that's supposed to like kind of snap in to the bottom part of the hull. And I think my paint had built up. I should have went around all the edges first in hindsight and sanded that just to make sure a little cleaner fit, but that was an issue. And I made a few little marks in my paint, but I can touch this up, so not an issue. I'll just stir up some extra paint, and I'll fix that. So moving along through that, let's kind of go to the next step in here is the interior, which is really basic. You just got a seat that snaps into kind of a cockpit area. I used gunmetal and black, and then you've got just your steering wheel, and you got a little dashboard, teeny tiny little dash, no instrumentation decals or anything, but a little small dash. I painted them white. I've got these micro markers in black. I'll probably just put in some little hash marks and stuff in there, just kind of make it look like it. There's supposed to be a pin sticking out that the steering wheel slides onto. This particular one did not have that pin. It had a little bit of a bump there, like it should have been there, but I don't know if it didn't mold right or if it got broken off in disassembling it or what. But, so that didn't work out. What I did is drilled a hole in it, and then I'm going to take a straight pin and stick it through the steering wheel. I've got to shim it just a little bit, stick it through the steering wheel, and use that to hold it into the dash once it's done. The other thing, these are sold as 1/25th scale, which I don't, they may be, but maybe not. They're very close. You know, my Ratfink hydroplane and my other monster hydroplane that I use, those holes, that's from the old Miss Budweiser, the original Miss Budweiser. Those are old tester kits from the 70s, and they are 1/25th scale. And the dimensions are very, very close. But me not ever being around, I was under the impression that these Unlimited Class Hydros were much, much larger than most boats are, just because they have jet engines in them. So that it's maybe a 1/4 of an inch longer than those original Miss Budweiser kits. Maybe a 1/2 inch with the counting the wing. So I think they're at scale. So like this is a 1/25th scale Mini Min, and this is the driver figure that comes with it. So you can see there's a huge, I mean, this is like a little kid that would be sitting in his lap, you know, so you can see there's a huge difference. So I think these are probably maybe closer to like maybe 1/32 scale, somewhere right in there. Just for that. The weird thing is, I mean, though, looking at this cockpit, if you took this seat and shoved it back, this Mini Min, he would almost, I mean, if he could get in there down in the seat, he would almost fit in there. So, you know, it's kind of you know, questionable. I don't know, but I'm still going to say it's not 1/25th, that it's closer to maybe like 1/32 or somewhere in between. So that's the other thing. The engine went together pretty well. What I did actually this morning, and I'm going to get the camera in here a little closer. So the assembly went pretty good. Of course, there's some mold lines, you know, it's split down the middle, the whole thing. And I didn't do a bunch of work on them, you know, I just didn't, because you're not seeing most of it, and I just didn't do it. Few things that are, as far as position, there is a heat shield under here that is not real clear in the instructions. It almost looks like it would fit the other way, but which I thought was upside down, but it actually fits down in the hull back here. That is a heat shield, because obviously with the jet blast, that's the hottest part of it coming out of there. Yeah, so, and I was kind of thinking, I don't know, I mean, this, to me, the instructions show this cut like this for the flames, and I guess it is, because that part would protect the hull. I don't know, I always thought it would go the other way, you know, but I guess, I don't know, that's hard to say. I don't know a lot about these boats, so I'm kind of in la-la land on this, but the instructions does show that with that cut facing this direction for the motor. The other thing is there's a shaft coming out here that's supposed to go into the drive mechanism, and a secondary shaft that's supposed to go out to your your prop drive out here. I could not find that part. I thought I'd lost it, but then when I started looking, this is too short. This drive mechanism is supposed to go in this cradle. Excuse me. This is supposed to fit in this cradle. It's way short, probably 8 to 10 millimeters short. And where the hole is in that drive mechanism, and there's another hole in the support base for the jet turbine, they're nowhere near lined up. So I don't think the part was in there in the first place, because there's just, there's no way it would fit. So, you know, mild issue, no big deal. I took and I painted this in Tamiya gunmetal and the Tamiya gloss aluminum here, but I wanted that tone down, so I used the Createx, the Candy O2 colors. Now this is how long I've had these. I bought these when these first came out. I have the whole set that still says Auto Air on it, but now they just say Createx, and they are selling these at Hobby Lobby. I will tell you that I did not have a lot of luck airbrushing with these colors. I mean, as far as doing an entire model with them, they're very thin. I had problems with them sagging. I've got friends that use these exclusively on a lot of stuff. My friend Mike Wowchuck, who is a professional artist, uses them in his work. Amazing colors that he gets. The blends are absolutely beautiful that he does with them. So he's had good luck. So, but just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. And I know Tommy Moore uses them on a lot of his builds, and he's getting beautiful candy paint jobs. And the upside of this stuff is it's a fraction of the price. Far less. And this was some of the stuff that was on sale at Hobby Lobby for a couple bucks recently. So but I like it because it's really thin and transparent. So as far as in this application, I wanted this, I used this is called Carib Blue, and then I used a color they have called Dirt Track Brown, because I wanted to give it the impression of heat being on this jet turbine part. So I went out and lightly airbrushed over the gunmetal and the aluminum with that in the blue and the brown, which you can see there. So that gives you kind of that nice use. I also did the inside of that heat shield on the deck, and inside and outside of this piece on the cowl, on the engine cowl. This engine cowl fits really nice in here. That part's good. Had back here on your wing supports, the holes are a little off. They don't line up well. And I was not able to get the hull crimped down as tight. That might have thrown things too, so that could have been part of the problem. Everything else went in pretty good. I haven't got the prop on yet. My granddaughter's here, so my dog's losing her mind. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to pick this up in just a little bit, and I'm going to splice it together. All right, I'm back. I will splice that together. Visited with my granddaughter and her boyfriend for a few moments. Back over here for college. From college for a few days. They just took a short trip. So anyway, all right, getting back to this. Okay, so we went over the driver's figures. Let's just see the instructions. I told you about the display base, breaking easily. It's a terrible instruction sheet. Okay, okay, so where we were at was these supports. The pins don't line up well with the wing. They fit okay in the bracket on the back of it, but they don't fit well up into the wing. The length is off a little bit. Now I did end up with a little bit of a gap in the back of the hole back here. That could be part of the issue. Not sure, but so that was off. Where the prop mounts here, where your shaft is, your drive shaft, you're going to want to drill this out. It's too big. I also drilled out, I think, the holes in this mounting bracket. Everything is just like zero tolerance, so when you paint it, you have no tolerance. So I think that's probably the problem, you know, what's going on. So haven't put the interior in yet. It just snaps down in there. So that's coming up. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing telling you guys. I made some little notes here. On the side here, where your stabilizer, this rudder stabilizer is here, you're going to want to sand the large flat pin that goes in there, also too long, so you're going to want to shorten it and thin it out. Again, with me using a lot of paint in here, that was probably part of it, but you just have to do a little mild work on that to get that in there. So just a lot of little minor fitting issues, but issues nonetheless. Figured save you guys some troubles when you're ready to start putting this together. I don't know if I showed this before. This comes with a sound card with the mini speaker and a micro switch for sound effects for the jet turbine engine, which is really cool. I'm going to kick that on. is really cool. It sounds just like them. And that is designed to, it's got sticky on it, so it will mount right here behind the display base, and same with the card. It's got some sticky stuff on it. I think because I broke this, I'm going to make a plate to go on the front of here out of some lucite, some of my clear lucite, and overlay that, and then I'll re-drill the holes for the speaker. That'll hide all that and hide where I broke this. I can glue that hopefully on there with no issues, and then it'll also hide the sound card and the speaker and everything, so you won't be able to see any of that. But it all has a little double face tape on the back of it, so that nicely done. I like that part of it. It also comes with, they all come with different decal sheets, but comes with some nice decals. They are water slide. They're not stickers. They're water slide decals. So you've got multiple sets. So I'm going to use a few of them. Most of this is unrelated. Might use kind of like this U1 here. And I like the fact that the green might pick up the green on the back of the boat hull, but maybe put it up here in the pink area. So I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. Other than that, I have been working on the other drag car. So let's see here. I use the decals that say the Hairy Hungarian. I thought that was just too funny. And they match perfectly, but I thought that was hilarious. So use the red window. No. So that's coming along. I still have to do the final work on the chassis on that. So that's almost complete. I did do some of the chassis buildup. I've got to get the suspension finished and get it up on its wheels. So that's where that's at. And other than that, I've just been painting a few other little parts, some of the diorama parts that I was working on. This is also on the hydroplane. You've got clear glass, which I'm using for the canopy. It also comes with a solid piece that you can paint black, which I don't care for. I like the clear canopy, so I'm going to be using that. But yeah, I'm down to the last half a dozen parts, so that should be coming together this week sometime. So anyway, all right, well, that's it for now, and I'll splice this together with that other one, see if I can clean up some of this mess. I will talk to you guys again real soon. Thanks for coming by. I hope you're building, and I'll see you soon.